podcast is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. It gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, even on platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, you can download the Anchor app, that's ANCHOR, or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey y'all, my name is Christian, I'm a millennial, and this is the Millennial Mind. Millennials get a bad rap for being lazy, non-productive members of society. We also get told that our opinions are warped and don't matter. This podcast is designed to express a point of view on the world as a whole, but from a millennial's perspective. I will talk about love, current events, pretty much everything that comes to mind. Come join me on this journey on speaking my mind, and I would love for you to speak your mind as well. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of The Millennial Mind. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast and for joining me on this journey of speaking my mind. And I hope that all of you are speaking your mind as well. I just want to say Happy Black History Month. For the month of February, this is a time where African Americans like myself and other cultures as well celebrate and commemorate the achievements and the lives of African Americans. I know African Americans have been through a lot culturally as well as historically, so it's nice that we get a month. Well, we really should get more, but that's another story. But at least we get a month to really put it out there about the achievements and the lives of African Americans. Usually during Black History Month, I usually see stories and movies about the more famous pioneers of African American history, such as Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Rosa Parks. But what about the individuals that were behind the scenes that we may have never heard of? What about the individuals who invented things and never got the accolades that they deserved? Well, I want to talk about a few of those individuals for this month. I won't be able to get to all of them, but perhaps what I can do is on our Facebook page, I could provide a link and just kind of outline a whole list of inventors and people in Black history that were behind the scenes but never really got the accolades that they deserved. So I thought it would be nice to do that for the month of February. So here we go. I have a few African American inventors that I wanted to point out. And as I was doing research on this, these men and women created things that I didn't even know that they created. It's amazing how much you can learn and how much you find out that you don't know. So first person that I would like to spotlight as one of the inventors for Black History Month is Frederick McKinley Jones. He actually invented the X-ray. When one of the doctors he worked for complained that he had to wait for patients to come into his office for X-ray exams, Jones created a portable X-ray machine that could be taken to the patient. So, and let me rephrase what I said earlier. So, Mr. Jones, he didn't create the X-ray itself, but he modified it so it could be portable, so that doctors could carry it with them to their various patients instead of being a standalone machine and doctors having to go to a particular place in order to have the X-ray done for their patients. So this is something that we see on a daily basis, and I shouldn't say daily, but it's something that we see where the X-ray technicians, they have their little portable X-ray machines and they're able to move them wherever they want to. We could thank Frederick McKinley Jones for that, for allowing God to use him to create this device. But that's not the only thing he created. He also created an automatic ticket dispenser. In 1939, he received a patent for an automatic ticket dispensing machine to be used in movie theaters. He later sold the patent rights to RCA, which is, of course, a movie company. And that's not all. What he's mostly known for is this invention that I'm going to tell you right now. In 1935, he invented the first automatic refrigeration system for long-haul trucks and railroad cars. This system eliminated the risk of food spoilage during long-distance shipping trips and was later adapted to a variety of other common carriers, including ships and railway cars. So if you see a truck like a Walmart truck filled with food, or even like a Jules truck, if you're from Illinois, you know what Jules is. But for my other listeners who are not from Illinois, maybe Kroger, Safeway. So if you see those trucks on the road with food contained in it, thank God for Mr. Jones, who was able to create this refrigeration system so that while these trucks are going on their long journeys delivering the foods to various stores or companies, the food doesn't spoil. So thank God for Mr. Jones. Next on the list is G.T. Sampson. So G.T. Sampson developed and patented America's first automatic clothes dryer in 1892. Like many other entrepreneurs, Sampson did not invent the item that made his reputation. Automatic dryers of sorts had been used for the better part of the 19th century. It usually was the same method of speeding the dryer over an open flame. And people used to complain that this made their clothes smell of smoke and stained them with soot. Sampson refined the process with a series of suspension rods over a specially designed stove. With this new development, those doing laundry could have a happy medium of drying their clothes quicker, no matter the weather, and without having to worry about setting garments on fire. The design was used until the growth and use of gas and electric dryers in the late 1930s and early 1940s. So even though Mr. Sampson didn't, like I was saying earlier, even though he didn't develop the first automatic clothes dryer, but he kind of paved the way for gas and electric dryers, and kind of modified the dryer that people once knew in the early, I would say, 20th century. So thank God for him, because like if I had a dryer and my clothes were being set on fire, I would be very upset. And I know that the majority of you would be upset as well. So thank God he discovered a way to dry clothes without having them to smell or having them to be set on fire. So thank God for Mr. Sampson. Another individual who made a pathway in Black history was Osborne Dorsey. So Osborne Dorsey was, of course, an African American man who invented the doorknob and the doorstop in December of 1878. He successfully obtained a patent for his work in the very same year. So doorknobs and doorstops, those are items that we see on a daily basis in our homes, in our offices. Wherever we see a door, there's usually some kind of doorknob or doorstop associated with it. So thank God that Osborne Dorsey was able to create this, or else how would we open doors today? How would we open doors, or how would we stop doors from putting holes in our walls when we're opening them? Osborne Dorsey came up with the doorknob and doorstop to kind of help with that. So, and that was something I didn't know, that an African American man developed the doorknob and the doorstop, which is huge. You use doorknobs and doorstops on a daily basis, maybe even multiple times a day. And then here's another one that I found, Alexander Miles. Alexander Miles was an African American inventor who was best known for being awarded a patent for developing automatic opening and closing elevator doors. He was awarded the patent on October 11th, 1887. So when you go on an elevator in an office building or whatever building that has an elevator, and the elevator is automatically open and closed, an African American man developed that. So you'd be surprised at what African Americans have developed and modified and invented. There's so many things that we have done as a people that we just don't know about. And when you do your research, it's just interesting to find what those items are, and you actually learn a lot. So, what do you think about these inventors that I discussed today? Let me know. Send me an email at mindofmillennials@gmail.com, or you can provide a comment on our Facebook page, The Millennial Mind. And before we go, I always have a quote for you all. And here's the quote that I have. To be African American is to be African without memory and American without privilege. Ooh, when I saw that quote, I was like, ooh, how true does that ring to my fellow African American people? And it may ring with other cultures as well. So, yes, for the month of February, the podcast may be a little bit shorter, but I just want to kind of pinpoint some of the African American people, inventors, etc., that haven't received the spotlight as others may have been. So I hope that you'll enjoy the podcast for this month, and until next week, I will see you soon.